Hello and welcome to Thalric Plays Blood Bowl 2. Today we're going to play another match with our Lizardmen team. I'm really excited about this match because we finally got some decent level ups and our team should begin to be better in general because of that. So it looks like we're once more playing against Bretonnians. And they have a slightly higher team value than we have, so we've got 120,000 in inducements. What do we want to get? I am not sure, to be honest. There are no real obvious choices, in my opinion. So I think we will go with 2 babes and leave it at that. And I do hope that you have noticed that I'm using a new microphone. I changed my setup yesterday and I think it's a recognizable and distinct improvement over my old microphone, and I hope you agree with me. Either way, I will be using this mic from now on, and I'm happy with it so far. Okay, so the match is loaded, and it looks like it is snowing, which is another weather that we haven't encountered before. The weather should make it so that we need a 3+ for going for it and not a 2+ if I remember correctly, but we will check that shortly. Let's see what the coin toss decides. And we get to choose, so we will receive the ball. Let's say hi to our opponent. Okay, so our skink... and I just rebought Lost Blockers. He rode. I'm assuming he's a bit scared of our team. Our opponent's name is Gunley, and his team are the Lightning Knights. Okay, he's got 4 rerolls and an Apothecary. And we will check his players shortly. Okay, so let's set up. I will put our 2 new Sauruses with block on the line to make blocking there a bit safer. But he also set up in a way that we get a lot of blocks if we want to. And I am thinking that we do. So let's check his skills real quick. He's got a Blitzer with plus agility, sure hands, pass. Okay, so we need to finish our setup first, I think. Okay, of course we can't do that. We only can have 2 players here. Let's do this. That denies the assist for him and also removes the problem for us. Okay, so let's keep checking. No skills. He's got tackle and leader. Good choices. Nothing. Block lineman. What's that? A niggling injury. That's good. So we will switch here and put Young Bull there. And okay, so I need to check his skills. That Blitzer got -1 agility. Both teams get an extra reroll. So he's got 5 now, which is more than enough, and we've got 4. So let's just start. He's got the niggling here, if I remember correctly. Can we get an injury right off the bat? We can't. But that's not too big of a problem. Let's move that skink over there. And as always, we want to create a scoring threat right away, so we will put 2 of our skinks deep into his half, so he is forced to deal with them. And now we will keep blocking. We should prioritize his armor value 7 players, because we can injure them easier. So that's what I'm doing here. And let's take it both down. We've got a stun there, which is a start. This Blitzer is more dangerous, so we will block him. And we will push him there and stay. Okay, let's do this one next. And we need to reroll that, and I will reroll that, unfortunately. Oh, that's an armor value 6 player. We should be able to make something happen there. But we don't. We only rolled a 3. Okay, so before I do any more blocks, I will attempt to pick up the ball. Because that is more important now. And we managed, so I think we can move up to here. Our line is pretty solid. And as long as we don't screw up this last block here, we should be fine. So what does he have here is tackle, and this one has diving tackle. Okay, we don't care as much about diving tackle, even though it is an annoying skill, but tackle is very dangerous for our skinks, so we will take care of that right away. And that's it for our first turn. We did use a reroll, but overall I think we can still be happy with the blocks we made. We can block a lot safer now because we have 3 players with block, and of course I did forget to use my Croxigore, but ultimately not using the big guy is better than using him and failing. So even though it might have worked, it's not that big of a loss that we forgot him. And he has 4 reserve players. Okay, that's a lot. One of which has block, apparently. We want to sidestep over there. And of course, because of sidestep, which we have on 3 of our skinks now, we can choose where we want to be pushed. Which should help us a lot. Okay, so one of his reserve players has block, and here we've got another minus agility, so it looks like he has been dealing with some permanent injuries. He's got 3 players with an agility minus, I think, and 1 with an armor value minus. And that's his turn. Okay. So let's start with some blocks again. Where is Young Bull? I've already forgotten. Okay, Young Bull is here. And he's the only one who can't make a decent dodge at the moment, so we will start here to get an assist up there. Push is not the best result, but it's fine. And of course we will follow. and then move our Croxigor up. So now we've got guard there. And we've got this armor value 6 player, so I think we should try to get him. And we'll push him there. And that's an armor break. And a KO is better than a stun, so an injury would have been even better, but a stun is a start. And we won't complain. Then let's do this one. I'm prioritizing blocks a lot more than before now, at least with our players that have block as well. They actually allow us to play a lot more aggressive. So that's what we're doing here. These are not really the results we want, but it's the one we're dealing with, so there is nothing we can do about that really. And I think we will build our defense behind our Croxigor for now. And then we will do this block. That worked. And we're pushing his players on the sides towards the sidelines so that we can potentially serve them in a future round. And there's the dodge, and let's dodge here as well. And then I think we go here. Okay. We might be dealing with some Dauntless blocks very soon. His blitzers do have Dauntless. And just so we remember what Dauntless does, the player, if he wants to block with a player that has Dauntless and he has less strength than our player, he's doing it here right now, and the Dauntless roll succeeds, it's a 2+ roll, as can be seen down here. His strength will be equal to ours in the block, so he effectively just raised his strength to 4, and thanks to the assist he also had, he got a 2 dice on us. So that's why Dauntless is a problem for us, and we will have to be careful in the way he uses it. So we have to watch out where his blitzes are, because they can and will attack our Sauruses if we let them. He chose to do a 1 dice here. I think my opinion about 1 dice is more than clear. They are very risky. He does have blocks, so they are less risky. But it's still an unnecessary risk, in my opinion. And he even does a 2 dice against block, which is even riskier. But since it's 2 pushes, I think he can be pretty happy with that. Okay, so he's doing a 2 dice against our Saurus with block, but he does have wrestle, and we don't want to deal with that, so we will let ourselves be pushed instead of a both down. Because we want of course we do want to remain standing to make more blocks here. So here is Young Bull. Is that a niggling? That is a niggling injury. And since I'm already explaining different skills, let me talk about niggling injuries for a moment. A niggling injury is a permanent injury that adds +1 to an injury roll a player sustains, so he's more likely to be injured. But we only rolled a 5 here, so the niggling injury didn't have any impact on that. And we will put Crunch back up here. Okay, so what do we want to do next? I think we want to do this block here, because we want to create a path for our skink to get through. But for that we do need this Saurus to blitz here. So that's why I did this block. And that's good enough. Fend will get him to there. And I think we're in no rush to actually do the touchdowns, so we will put our Saurus here and move our skink to there. It's not the safest position for him to be in because of the possible Dauntless blocks that we could be facing, but he can't effectively blitz us without risking a dodge. He might do so, but it would be a risk, and we'll have to wait and see if he's actually willing to take that risk. So now there are only some blocks remaining. And let's see if we can maybe get another armor break. I would be pretty happy about that. So far, no luck. Let's close this path for attack for him. It was unlikely that he would go there, but oh, you know what? Let's do this. So now we've got 2 dice here. We will push him there so that he's still in contact with our Saurus, and we won't follow. And then we will dodge Celerity away. And you know what, let's be safe, let's pull Celerity back and close this line here, so now we'll have a hard time to actually attack us. And this time we will do... Oh, okay, there's a bonehead. We won't reroll that, but it's still fine. Of course, that opens up this path here, but he still can't reach us effectively. That is enough. I'm really happy that our Lizardmen team is finally having a few skills and is starting to develop. The development was a bit slow because of all those conceits. Of course, we did get the double MVP, but we most of the times didn't get any SPP because of touchdowns or casualties. So development was a bit slow. But it's picking up now, and I do hope that we can keep that development up and get some more skills. If not in this game, maybe in the next. At least our skinks shouldn't level up this game as easily, because most of them have 6 SPP exactly, and that was a really good move. Of course, that 1 dice was risky for him, but he opened himself up a way to get to our ball carrier and injured him as well. Of course, that double defender down that he rolled there was extremely lucky. Does that player have tackle? I believe he does not, so the defender down was his only option to actually get our player, and that he managed to do so was pretty unfortunate, but that's nothing we can't deal with. Okay, so here we've got... So let's stand up our Sauruses first. That is something we have to keep in mind constantly. Because of Dauntless, he can block us, and we have to be aware of his Dauntless players at all times. Okay, so this Agility 4 player is pretty dangerous. It's his ball carrier. So we will try to take care of him. No armor break, unfortunately. But it's still okay, I guess. So we will... I think we shouldn't blitz here, because... Or maybe... No, I think we shouldn't. Let's just move our Saurus here and do this block. Because we wouldn't have block either way. So it doesn't really matter. And then we will do this blitz. No, we will blitz from here. Because then we can push him onto our Croxigore. And that is what we wanted to see. And of course we will follow. But then we will move him here. And before we attempt our last block, we will try to pick up the ball. So let's see if Hopper can do it, and he can. Okay, and Underbite gets the last block of the turn. And that worked out pretty well, and we'll follow that. So far, we have only KO'd one of his players, which is a pretty bad average, considering how many blocks we have got so far. But the KOs or injuries might still come in, and we're in a pretty solid situation still. So I think there's nothing to really worry about for us at the moment. So far he hasn't used any of his rerolls, or he used one, I guess. But still his rolls so far have been pretty solid as well. And Dauntless of course also means that he can block... Okay, that's... Okay, no, that just looks strange because the Croxigore is that big. He can also block our Croxigore very well, because if Dauntless succeeds, he has strength 5 for the block, so he has nothing to worry about really there. And he's attempting a dodge here with agility 4, it is pretty possible. And he gets the defender down again, so that's really lucky. And once again, our skinks are being pummeled into the ground. 2 blocks against skinks, 2 injuries. And he picks up the ball as well. So now we have a problem. Because all of our Sauruses are bound, and we can't really do something about that. So I'm not really happy about that, but we might be able to get a Saurus free. So what we need now is for Youngbull to manage this, and luckily he does. We won't follow this time. And so now we can do this blitz here. And I should have pushed him differently, I realize now, but it's still fine, I think. So let's push him to here and follow. Where does the ball scatter? Perfect. So we will keep our Saurus here, and then we will run straight for his touchdown zone. So next we want to create a bit of safety for our skink. So we will dodge swift. Oh, that's his diving tackle player. So in the end, diving tackle was a problem, but it failed, luckily. So we can move up to here, and then we'll do some blocks. That's a blocker. He's got wrestle. I don't want to wrestle. So we will push and follow. And then we will do this one. I would like to get an injury or two at some point. So I think we managed to salvage that situation. Of course, he's getting only defender downs on our skinks. So that's a big problem. And 3 blocks against skink and another injury. So we are running out of skinks. So his rolls against my skinks are just unbelievable, considering what we have dealt him on damage with blocks. Things should look a lot different, considering we have Mighty Blow and he does not. But he did 3 blocks against our skinks and got 3 injuries. Luckily, they were only badly hurt results, but still, it's pretty bad. And that he did this as well without any rerolls, so we're still fine as long as we can manage to dodge out of here. And knowing my luck, we will probably fail, but let's wait and see what actually happens before we start complaining, I guess. And he's doing the 1 dice because he wants to get my Saurus here. It's still a risky play, but if he wants to do it this way, and he finally rolls an attacker down, but followed up by a defender down. As long as we don't sustain an injury on our Sauruses, I really don't care at that moment. So what we will do now is go for safety here first and then do at least 1 block, I think. Can we get a 2 dice here? We can, 1. So let's do that. It's only a push, unfortunately. That was risky. I didn't want to actually do that one. I only wanted to use Sauruses that have block for blitzing. And we will take that, even though it means being wrestled down. Can we actually get an injury? No, we cannot. That was a stun. Okay, so we have done all we want to do. I don't want to block with my Croxigor, so we will attempt the touchdown. And we get it. So, at least we are in the lead right now. On the other hand, we have 3 injured skinks, but we have 2 reserve skinks, which of course means that we still only have 10 players left on the pitch, which isn't really ideal, and we have to be very careful that we won't lose any more. And he still has 11 players and 4 reserve players, so we will probably be at a player disadvantage until the end of the match. So on defense, I don't want my Sauruses with block on the line of scrimmage. I think it would be wiser to use them in defense, Then offense. And of course we will put Young Bull in the middle behind to... Oh no, we probably won't because we need our players there. Okay, so let's check that. Yeah, okay, so going for it will be a 3+ instead of a 2+, as I have already said. And of course we do still... So we are now at 10 players and he is at 11, of course. So I'm happy that we scored. I'm not happy with the way his blocks against our skinks have been going so far. And I think I'm not complaining without a reason here. He blocked us 3 times with players that didn't have tackle, but we had dodge. He got a defender down 3 times, and he also injured us 3 times, which is a really good average and a really high average. And he got his wish. We had changing weather, and the weather is now nice, so going for it will no longer be a 3+, but a 2+. And he's opening up with a 1 dice and KO'd our Croxigor. Okay, so it's about to be one of those games, apparently. And I don't think I need to actually need to finish that sentence. I'm pretty sure that he will be able to make those going for it if he chooses to do them. So we are experiencing our regular bad luck with the armor rolls, which is really unfortunate. He has 3 turns left to score, and if he keeps doing what he's doing at the moment, he will have no problem to actually score in these 3 turns. Bretonnians are fast enough to do a touchdown in 2 turns without big problems, so 3 turns should be more than enough. We will still try to do our best to keep him away from our touchdown zone, but I'm not sure that we will be able to manage it. He did manage to pick up the ball, and he is also throwing, and that catch worked as well. I'm curious to see what he wants to do here. I'm assuming he will mark up this player as well, so that we can't get to his ball carrier here. So that player's got tackle and leader. And he's choosing to blitz us there. The Dauntless succeeds, and he does blitz us, of course. The big question is, will he move backwards? No, he won't, so we do have a shot at his ball carrier. It's a 2 dice against block at the moment, but we will remedy that in just a moment. But first we need to move our players into position first. So I think what we want to do here is put celerity there. Put twitchy to here. It's still a 1 dice if I'm... Yep, it is. So we will do this block first. That of course won't help us. But still. So then this will happen. I forgot Fent there for a moment, so that's my mistake. So we're forced to put Squirrel there as well. But then we will have our 2 dice. And we get it. And we choose to follow. And now let's see where the ball ends up. All the way back in his zone, but we have no player available. I would have loved to get a skink down there. But I won't be able to, but he still has to go backwards. And now he has more blocks against our skinks. Hopefully he can't make them work this time. The most important part is that we keep him from scoring this half, so that we have a chance to get our Saurus and our Croxigore back. With the 2 babes, the chances are pretty good. Let's hope that we actually get it. But of course we still have 1 turn left, and he has this turn and the next one. So we should keep focused on that for the time being. So far all of his Dauntless roads have been working. I assume he will run back with his Agility 4 player, pick up the ball again and try to pass it forward. I'm not sure if he will go for this blocker or this one. He chooses to do some blocks first, and of course he can. And he still has his rerolls, so it's probably not the worst choice to make. I think I would have prioritized the ball game a bit higher. But it did work out for him, so I guess it's okay. But he does need to get his players into touchdown range this turn, or he won't be able to score in the next one, of course. And he does not. So he has this 1 player that could actually score, and that is it. Yes, it is. So our sole focus will be taking down this player, and pushing him back 1 square is technically enough. I would like to do more, of course, but it might not be what the roads decide. So for safety we will put our skink there first, in case we do fail the splits. And then we will do the most important stuff first. And it worked. And we will follow after. And so far Mighty Blow has not worked very well for us, unfortunately. So where do we want to block next? I think it might be a good idea to go here. I still think we should go for his lineman. He does have a lot of reserve players, but they're still our best chance to get any casualties in. But we just can't seem to touch that armor value 7, which is pretty sad, actually. And I will reroll that. We're in our last turn. It doesn't matter anyways. And we will follow that one. And we only get a 1 dice here, so we will... Oh, he's got this, the diving tackle one. I forgot about that again. And it's another injury on a skink. So... right in line with the rest. It's getting a bit ridiculous in that regard, in my opinion. I wouldn't be complaining as much if he actually had some bash skills, like Mighty Block or stuff like that, but that we are getting our skinks injured every time they do something that might get them injured is really bad. And we only have 2 skinks left now to do stuff with, and if he manages to get them off the pitch, our chance to score again is almost 0. And losing another skink, of course, also means that we only have 9 players now, 7 at the moment, because we still have 2 KO players and we really need to get them back. If one or even both of them stay out, we will be in a lot of trouble. Of course, he can't score anymore this turn, so at least we are safe from that. But let's see if he can do any more damage. There's his first double skulls. A little bit late for my taste. And no armor break is good for us, so let's just be happy that he so far isn't managing to inflict any more damage on us. Okay, so we're at halftime now. And let's see if our KO players come back. They do, both of them. I got scared there for a moment, I thought they were both staying knocked out. Unfortunately, we're still only at... we're actually 2 players down now, which is really bad for us, but there's nothing we can do about that. So let's just try and do our best again and hope that we can still make this work for us. This game is far from over. There's still a complete half to be played. A lot of stuff can happen. For example, we get a perfect defense, which is not what we want that much, but we also won't complain about it. We still have to have a lot of respect for his for Dauntless, and he does have... No, he doesn't have any one Dauntless player here in position. The other 2 he has, 3 he has, are on the back line. And he actually, the ball scattered onto his ball carrier and he caught it immediately. So the chances of that happening are pretty low as well. But it did happen, so we'll have to deal with it. And I would really like for him to actually fail a roll for a change, and he is doing a bit strange stuff. Oh, he's failed his Dauntless roll. Will he use a reroll? He won't. But it's still enough because we don't have block on our Saurus. He shouldn't have blitzed with his ball carrier, but instead with another player. And he is very quickly making use of our new setup, because we put all of our Sauruses into tackle zones with him. So he's using that against us and going directly for the offensive here. We might still be able to make it work, but it won't be as easy. And he's once again getting the 1 dice on our Croxigore and getting the armor break once more. So he is getting really lucky with his armor breaks, which is something we have experienced a lot in the last few matches we have played. So I'm not too happy about that. But it's still far from over yet. The important thing is... Oh, that fail is pretty big. And we can hope that he fails it again. We need him to fail again, actually. And it does, so that's really good. Because this now gives us the opportunity to maybe blitz his ball carrier with a player with block. So let's not be stupid here. Or I think we should keep our skinks where they are. I want to mark him up in case we fail here. But I think it's fine and it worked out, so okay. And then we will go for the blitz here. And I'm blitzing from here so that I can push him over there. And we get it. Let's follow. And where does the scatter go? Okay, so the scatter is good for us, I think. Let's put... Okay, so let us do this. We will put Twitchy there. And now we will do some blocks first. Let's do Young Bull. Because Young Bull has Mighty Blow and he's still our best weapon at actually getting an armor break. We did, but only a stun again. Then we will do this one, which does nothing. I won't risk this one for the time being, because we don't have block. But let's pick up the ball. And what I want to do here now, let's check his players real quick. This one has tackle. This one has nothing. So unfortunately, he does have some players with... he does have a player with tackle there. So I don't want to dodge this way. It was my original plan, but I didn't check in time. And now this player is in our way to get through here, so we will go... Oh, should we do that? It's not an easy decision where we want to go. I think let's try this dodge at first. Of course, we do put ourselves in a dangerous situation because we don't have any sort of defense with our skink here, but he still needs a... No, the going for it won't help us here. So we won't do it. But he still needs a defender down to get us. So we're finally getting some armor breaks in, but so far only stuns. And we will just have to hope that now he won't be able to get our skink for once. Experience has taught us that it is very unlikely, but we can still hope. And statistically, will he take that result? He's getting that one, and not an armor break for once. But there's no tackle zone on the ball, so he can use his agility 4 blitzer. That's a really good blitzer, by the way. He's not only got agility 4, but also sure hands and pass. And catch, of course, because the blitzers start with that. So that's a really strong skill combination. I'm wondering if he got... okay. I'm wondering if he got the agility plus first. Or not. And he managed that. Wow. So there's just nothing we can do about that. And we of course, won't be able to catch him there. Is he actually giving us a chance here? That's pretty nice of him, I guess. I don't really understand why he's doing it, but I won't complain. So I'm putting our Croxico here under the assumption that we can actually get the ball free. And I'm putting Twitchy here in case we can't, because he will still be forced to dodge, although he will probably go for the blitz and then just walk away. But it's a safety we need nonetheless. So we have to work on under the assumption that we manage to get the ball free but won't be able to pick it up, which is pretty realistic since all our skinks have made their move. So now we will attempt the blitz, which needs one going for it to work. And it's against the guy with the niggling injury, so I would be really happy to get that one. We do need to reroll that, and we will push him there, and of course we will also follow. But that's scatter. I do think we need to risk the going for it here. And luckily it worked. So now we're in a semi-safe situation. Of course, there's nothing we can do against good rolls. But we did the best we could. He gave us the chance to actually get to the player and blitz him. He should have followed up here and kept our Soros tied up. He didn't, and so we managed to make this work somehow. But aside from these small mistakes he's making, he is playing a pretty solid game so far, I think. He made some questionable one-dice blocks that I probably wouldn't have done, but they worked out for him most of the time, so he was probably right to do them. And it is a really close game at the moment. We are fighting an uphill battle, because you just need to look at our sustained injuries. And he's going for our skink again, which is the right choice. Is he taking the reroll? He is. And of course he wouldn't have needed the defender down here for once, because that player has tackle. But still, so that's bad that he's got the upper hand here, but it's still okay. At the point at the important point, which is down here, we still have a solid defense, and I will go for the chain push here with the blitz to push this tackle player away from our skink. And I will also blitz with Young Bull, of course, because he has Mighty Blow. That didn't work as well as I would have liked, but we can still make that work, probably. Let me check. He is only a bonehead, so it's not really stupid, so he can move. So let's risk it and move him over there. And that's nice. So let's do this. And push him there, and we will follow. And we finally get an injury. Just badly hurt, so no long-term consequences for him. Okay, we have to act under the assumption that we should act under the assumption that he will attack us, which is a pretty obvious one, I think. So let's now try to pick up the ball. We can complete the cage, but he can't get around here very good, I think. It's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, with a dodge maybe. But of course Squirrel is very exposed. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have to think about where we want to put him. I think we will do the mildly risky thing, put him over there to get an assist, and then block with Scar here. It's just a push, so not exactly what we wanted, but it's okay. Yeah, so now he can just pummel us into the ground or through two Sauruses here. We can't really do anything about that. But we are still in a pretty solid situation here, I think. He can move up and make things worse for us. But it is still fine, I think. Especially considering this, he's only getting the push, but that means his tackle player here gets a 1 dice against us. No, a 2 dice against, but that's just obviously. He does a 2 dice against block and gets a defender down, and defender stumbles. And he does KO our skink, which means that we can't pick up the ball there. So we should have pulled our skink back here, and that's a stun. So slowly but surely we are getting under a lot of pressure, and it will be very hard to avoid that touchdown. He did just use his last reroll, which might end up saving us. But the situation is looking pretty grim at the moment. So what can we do here effectively? I think our first action, I will just so we're perfectly clear, I will attempt to pick up the ball with a Saurus, because there's just nothing else to be done. But we need to do it the right way, meaning of course that we need to make the right blocks. So we will do this block here. And that's just perfect. And we will stay. And next we will do this blitz. Not the result we wanted to see. We will stay. We could try to not pick up the ball and actually just keep his players away from there and try to get our skink over here. which probably would be the better choice, all things considering. But his players do have Dauntless, so I think we will just say, why not? Well, it was to be expected. We do need a 5+ row, so we only have a 33% chance, as we could all see, to actually pick up the ball. It was possible, it's unlikely, but it's still a 1 in 3 chance, so I'm not sad that we didn't try. And the ball is in a situation where he can't get to it that easily. He'll probably make good use of his Dauntless once more. It's good thing that we have God here, but he still will get his 2 dice here and get our Croxigore. So now he can make this 2 dice, and he gets an armor break on our Croxigore once more, which is really bad, even if it is just a stun. We can't use him next turn, which is really bad. And now he's got this one. And okay, and he will get another 2 dice probably for his blitz here. No, he's choosing to do a 1 dice or 2 dice against if he fails his Dauntless, which he does. And of course we'll choose the both down event. An attacker down would have been really amazing here. Unfortunately, we didn't get it. And he does once more get the defender down here. But our skink stays in the game. Okay, so I think our only course of action is to keep him away from the ball as best as possible now. So that's what I will focus on. The big problem we are facing, of course, is that we do only have Sauruses back here, and he just caught that one like a pro. Even with his agility 4, he needed a 4+. So that's just there to show you how dire the situation really is. We put him there so that he has to at least block once to get rid of the Saurus before he can do anything there. And we need to reroll that. We need to at least push him. A defender down is better, a lot better. And we'll follow that. Come on. Yo, nice. That's what I wanted to see. We got his agility 4 player, so now he will have a much harder time to pick up the ball, hopefully. And maybe we can stall him out until the end of the match. He still has Dauntless and can block our Sauruses fairly efficiently. But it's getting more difficult for him because we got his agility 4 player. And he injured Young Bull, so not good, but it's only badly hurt. It's unfortunate that Young Bull is off the pitch, and that's just, I think, all things considering, we're playing with less players than him throughout most of the match. And considering all the other stuff that's happened so far, I think we can be pretty happy that we are still in the lead. even though things are getting close once more, and he's very likely to get to the ball. But that's only a push. Of course he will push us here. But still, will he manage that pickup? And he fails the pickup despite having sure hands. That's what I wanted to see. So, what can we do now? I think we should block with Scar here first, because of course he has block, so that we get our other Saurus free to move down here. And let's check his players real quick. I think let's stand up Mighty Jaw. I was considering blitzing with him, but I do think we want to handle the situation a little bit differently. So we will block here first, once again because of block. Where do I want to push him? I think we'll push him there, and we will follow. I'm not sure if that was the right choice, but I think it doesn't matter that much. And then we will go for a chain push once again to get Longtooth onto into a tackle zone next to the ball. And we will go there. Okay, so that armor break is pretty nice. And let's put him here. We want to keep his Dauntless players occupied so that he can't blitz with one of them, because that could open up a way for him to get to the ball easier. And we'll also move Squirrel back in to maybe get a chance at picking up the ball. Enter. Only 2 turns remaining, and so far we are still keeping him away from the ball, which is a miracle in itself, I think. It is getting harder every turn to keep him away, considering that he is getting more and more of our players. He's even KOing our Sauruses on a regular basis now. And having lost another Saurus, things will get even harder now. But so far we're still holding out. That's what I was afraid about, that he got a blitzer free to blitz our Saurus away here. Things aren't looking good. But that's perfect. He doesn't have a reroll anymore, so he can not get us away from there. Which is what we wanted and needed, of course. But that's enough. Okay, so what is our plan of action here? I think either way, or maybe not. I'm not sure. Let's stand up Mighty Jaw first. We won't blitz with him again. That's just not going to happen. I think we want to try and incapacitate his blitzers, so we will once more, against better judgment, use our... Oh no, going for it. We don't want to do that, so we will attempt the dodge, because we have an automatic reroll for that. And then we will blitz here. Do we... No, we don't. We will blitz here first and really hope that this works. Push is not what we wanted, but it's okay. And we will use our skink as collateral damage pretty much. So he can't get to us with his Dauntless player there. We will just push here and stay. We still need the tackle zones on the balls, and then we will just do our last 2 blocks and hope for the best. So let's see if his prediction becomes reality. Or if he can pull that off. An injury would be really perfect, because that would have been a level up, but unfortunately we don't get it. But that's still okay. So I think in the end, and he's agreeing with me, it was a really fun match, and a close one too. Okay, so Wrestle is getting rid of 1 tackle zone, so he only needs to blitz here now. So his chances are getting better. He's not blitzing? Why? I mean, he's still getting the ball away, the Saurus away, but he needs to dodge now to do the touchdown. Okay, so push is enough here. Unfortunately, we don't have a sidestep player, otherwise we would have been chosen to be pushed over here. And does he pick up the ball? He does, and he gets the touchdown. So it's a draw. Let's be honest, it should have happened a few turns ago. Most likely. We managed to delay that until turn 16, but we still have a turn left. And you know me, I want to try 1-turn touchdown. I think it is even more unlikely than with my Skaven that we will be able to pull it off, but we do have 2 skinks, which is enough to do so. We need 1 to pick up the ball and 1 to be pushed into scoring range. But he's setting up in a way that will probably keep us away. Do we still want to try? I think we should. So let's get a player with block. And we will push him there, so we will put our skink here. Let's switch these 2. And that one has to go over there. Yeah, I could just go for the bash and try and demolish his team a little bit, but where would the fun be in that? So let's think this through. We will push him there, so our Croxigor actually needs to go there. Let's switch those up as well. And then we will save. Oh, we must have 3 players on the line of scrimmage, so that's a problem. We will push him there. Okay, so we will put him here. Yeah, that should work. And that just destroyed my chances. So considering that he's gotten the perfect defense, the match will end in a draw. Which is sad because I would have liked to try that one-turn touchdown once again. And at some point in the future I will actually be able to get it. But apparently today is once more not the day for it. So we will have to accept that and move on. But we get a few more chances at bashing him, I guess. And he's willingly putting his armor value 7 players in range, but I want to think for a moment if we maybe can get the one-turn touchdown after all. Maybe? I don't think that we can, unfortunately. Okay, so let's do this first. That's just the push, and I think that seals it once and for all. We might have been able to make it work if we've gotten a successful block there, because then I could have blitzed around here and start a chain push over there. But we can't, so we shan't, and we will just do some blocks here. And maybe we can at least get 2 SPP for a casualty. And that's the end. And we'll, of course, get that one. The end result is a draw. I think we can be happy with that, considering the beating we took with our skinks and that he managed to be have more players than us almost the whole time. We once more felt the problem of Dauntless. It is really strong against us, and he has 4 players with Dauntless, which is can really be a problem for us, as we have seen. We still got a few SPP out of it, not nearly as much as him. For him, the match was really successful. Well, despite the ignoring the score, he got a lot of casualties in. Unfortunately, we won't get a level up out of that. Scar got the MVP and is at 12 SPP now. We got a an additional fan factor once more, and in a lot of winnings, which we don't really need at the moment, but since we're not over 150,000, we don't really care that much. So we have 7 games played in total so far, and if we recap, the result is a bit disappointing, unfortunately. The first match was a concede, so not a real victory there. Our second match was a draw. Our third match was a win, but once again because of a concede. The third match was a draw. Our fourth match was a win because of a concede. Our fifth match was an actual win for once. And now we have a draw again. So if we ignore the conceded matches, we are at a result of 1 win and 3 draws. So no losses yet, which I'm pretty happy about, but it still could be better. And I do hope that we will do better in the future. But for now, that's what we got. I think we can still be happy with our overall performance. And that will be all for today. As always, if you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate a like or a comment. And if you want to hear more of me and see me play more Blood Bowl and see me play these Lizardmen or my Skaven team, just subscribe to my channel. I do hope you tune in next time. And for now, bye.